We have just started SQL revision for data engineering. Now let's get into the details about why we should learn SQL. But before going to those details, let's understand the architecture of a typical mobile or web application. I'll be taking a retail application as an example. When it comes to this hypothetical retail application, it is primarily to accept orders from the customers, and as an organization, we want to ship the products to them. It's a typical retail application. Here we represent the organization, the others represent the customers of this organization. We want to transact with the customers via web or mobile application. So let's whiteboard here. Let's say this is web application. Web applications are typically accessed using browser. Whether you are using Windows or Mac or Linux based desktops, you will have browser. The customers have to interact with you via browser if it is web application. Also, as part of mobile, you might have deployed mobile app. They just have to open the mobile app, or they can also use browser in the mobile, and then they should be able to interact with you to transact with your company by purchasing products from you. Now, there will be quite a few operations that will be performed by the customers either through web or mobile. They will log in into your company's website, and then they'll start placing the orders. You can visualize from the perspective of Amazon.com. You might go to Amazon.com, search for the product, and then select the products which you want to purchase, add them to market basket, and then check out. Once you check out, it will ask you to make the payment. You will make the payment and you will complete the order. Then the life cycle of the order will be completed once you receive the product. Now, all these operations will generate data. The data have to be permanently stored so that the transactions will go through without much challenges. Where this data will go to? This data will go to typical RDBMS database in most of the cases. All the transactional related data will typically go to RDBMS databases. RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. Now, let me make sure I draw this icon. This typically represents database technology. In this case, we'll be using RDBMS. What is the purpose of it? It is primarily to store the data that is generated by the users of this application using web or mobile application. It permanently stores the data. How the data will be stored? The data will be stored in the form of tables in the database. Now, web or mobile applications doesn't interact with the database directly. They will have application servers in between. As we are trying to revise SQL from the data engineering perspective, it can be black box for you. You don't need to worry too much about this application layer. But typically there will be application servers. These application servers will channelize the traffic from the users into this database. So the way the application run is like this. From web or mobile, the traffic will go to application server or servers. There can be more than one application servers here. Then from application servers, the data will be stored in the database. Also, when the user try to fetch the details about his order, the request will go to database. The data will be returned from the database. Application server will take care of processing the data and it will send to web, and the data will be rendered as part of the browser using technologies like HTML. So this is a typical web or mobile application architecture. The data is permanently stored in RDBMS. As data engineers, we typically source the data from RDBMS and also other sources. Other sources can be application server logs and many other things. I don't want to get into those details at this juncture because we are talking about SQL revision for data engineering. You just need to understand that any typical web or mobile application such as retail application will generate data. The data is permanently stored in RDBMS.